Hey guys, and welcome to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about Biden's tax plan and how this could have a massive, massive impact on the real estate market. Stay tuned for this one. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, no matter what time it is. I hope that you guys are having an amazing day. I'm here with my very enthusiastic.
Ooh, yes.
It took me a minute to think about that one. Enthusiastic co-host, very good-looking co-host, by the way, Josh Zuniga. And today we're going to talk about Biden's tax plan and really trying to figure out how this could play out. It kind of makes me a little bit nervous.
Absolutely nervous.
And so I think a lot of people don't really understand. And I'm going to say that 99% of the people that are watching this podcast right now are actually making less than $400,000, and they're like, it's not going to impact me. I'm here to say otherwise. And I think what
pay attention, guys. Be vigilant on this because this could happen.
Here's what happens. I don't know the stat, and maybe somebody can fact check me on this, but I think
before we do that, let's talk about what is his tax plan and what are we actually going to be talking about before, even with capital gains.
Let's break it down that way. So
let's talk about the topic, the main one that we're concerned about here in the real estate market.
One of the biggest things that Biden's coming out and saying is saying, hey, look, for people that are making more than $400,000 or more than $1 million, he's going to change the tax rate on capital gains from the high, which is about 20% now, to 39.6%.
That is so massive increase.
Yeah, it's a 100% increase if you think about it that way. It's basically doubling the tax. And so what happens is, somebody should fact check me on this, the top 1% own about 50% of the wealth in this country. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are really going to be affected by this. And so I have to look at human behavior and I have to say, wait a minute, what if I was rich, in making more than $1 million, what am I going to do with my money? And a lot of people have money invested in the stock market right now because they enjoy only 20% capital gains tax rates on this, right? Yes. It's very low considering that probably they're maxed out on their personal tax rate at 39.6%. And those tax cuts, I believe, that Trump put into place in 2017 are set to expire in 2025. It's going to happen anyway, but I think Biden's going to hasten that just a little bit, especially with the economic recovery that we're seeing now. We're just having a surge in demand. I think it's going to really help pull things back just a little bit and even it out. But what happens is, if I'm a wealthy individual and I'm investing a shitload of money into the stock market and I'm saying, wait a minute, now I'm going to get taxed at 40% on it, plus if you live in California, probably another 13%, or if you live in New York, God forbid, and that's where my home state is, I can say that.
Yeah.
You're looking at other alternatives, right? You're saying, okay, what other asset classes can I get into that I don't have to pay a shitload of money on taxes? What is one of those asset classes?
Real estate.
Real estate.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that if I take my money out of the stock market and I sell off, and they're estimating about $178 billion in assets coming out of the stock market, and where's that money going to go? Some of it's going to go into real estate. A big chunk of it is my guess. Where else can you get, basically 1031 exchange, and defer taxes? Where else can you buy a primary residence and enjoy, $250,000 or $500,000 if you're married in capital gains tax that's just basically free? If you live in the house for more than 2 years, just qualifiers in that, guys. So don't get pissed off at me in the comments. And you need to understand that we're seeing a massive surge in the demand of real estate, and I think this is going to accelerate that. So it's proposed now, it hasn't gone into effect, so don't freak out and leave comments like the world's going to burn. Mm-hmm. But you need to understand that what human behavior is, and so we can anticipate that behavior and make the adjustments now. Would you agree?
Yeah. So let's take a step back and just kind of give a little bit of summary for the guys. So if you're making over $400,000, your tax rate at the federal level,
at the federal only
level, you still have state on top of that. Yes. So keep that in mind, guys. Definitely in consideration. It's going to go from
20% now,
20% to 39%. Correct. You said doubled.
39.6.
What about the individuals that are below $400,000?
Nothing's going to change. Okay. Nothing will change. And Biden's come out and said that, hey, look, nothing for you guys is going to change. But understand that what I think is going to happen, I was having a conversation with Megan Myers this morning about this, is you're going to see a lot of these investors that are investing in real estate, it's going to be across a broad spectrum of price ranges. They're not just going to buy $1 million houses. What are they also buying? They're buying cheap stuff. They're buying multifamily, which is the renters, right? They're going to have to rent from these landlords that pay an extraordinary amount of money that need, a return on their investment. They're going to have to increase the rates on rent, right? The lower end of the price spectrum is easy to gobble up tons of real estate. In lower end real estate, by the way, usually with a hashtag or exclamation or whatever, asterisk, usually appreciates faster than the stuff on the higher end. and that's reversed this year, but this is kind of an anomaly. So understanding that, that demand, that surge in demand that may come from this, might actually accelerate the appreciation of real estate. You gotta think about that now.
Yeah. So guys, even just like a recap of what Carl was saying there. So you're saying if this capital gain tax does come in place, the higher end, I say the wealthy, are going to start doing, I want to say like a max exodus from the market. They'll definitely start to diversify their portfolio and start heavily putting into real estate.
Yes.
That is meaning that prices and demand is continuing to go up. Because now you have big boys with some real serious money coming into the game that is gonna put us out, like as far as these ones that are trying to buy the first time home or the first investor that's trying to buy something at 300,000, 400,000. We have hedge funds here within Arizona, and we come across them all the time when we're actually listing our properties. Boom, cash, full price, above asking, no problem, no appraisals. Because to them, this doesn't mean anything. This is just a placeholder for their money, and they just need to put it somewhere. And obviously, they're going to take advantage of the real estate market and whichever market they're investing in, and assuming those appreciation, and also taking advantage of the tax benefits of being in real estate.
Yeah.
Right. So, guys, take the lessons. This is what the wealthy do, but we also need to act now and do it for ourselves. Do it for yourself as an individual, and also think of your future family or your family now. Make the decisions.
Yeah, and just end on a quick note here. So, things that I'll be looking at is a Roth IRA right now. And you can put real estate into an IRA and be a self-directed IRA. I don't think a lot of people know that. I'll be looking at maybe investing into an S&P 500 index fund if you're making less than $400,000, because remember that capital gains tax rate doesn't change. It could be between 15 and 20% if you're making under $400,000. So might be a buying opportunity for some people here too.
Absolutely. So guys, the biggest thing we wanted to bring this up is because we want you to have options, all right? But we also want you to take action. That's the biggest thing around. It's like, I want to get in. Is the market going to change? Is it going to dip? Everybody's waiting for this dip that I don't foresee coming, anytime soon. The market and demand and the lack of inventory that we have, as far as the deficit, is going to continue to keep on going because we can't even build houses fast enough.
All right? It's just a shortage.
Yeah, so. And that's one of the reasons why we like to give you all these nuggets in a short form. Obviously we do all of our podcasts inside of like 20 minutes because we want to give you the information quick so you can act on it fast.
Yep.
All right? So guys, that's the end of our podcast today. Please make sure you start doing something to invest into your future here. We'll see you on the next episode, okay? All right, thank you so much.